Welcome home.
Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike. Today I want to talk to you about the Newage Michael 53. This is their take on a very G1-esque Legend scale or even G1 scale Omega Supreme. And I gotta say, it's a pretty nice spot. We're going to talk about this. We're also going to discuss comparisons of this versus the PANGU toys, versus the original G1, versus the McFans toys, and all of the other comparisons towards Legends. But before I get into this, I did get this to Show Z. I'm going to have a link down below, and I also want to say thanks to everybody that's already supported me at Show Z by going into Support Your Reviewer and putting in capital T, capital H. But let's take a look at Michael. Coming up! Quick look at the packaging. It's really interesting packaging. Shows the actual art of actual pictures of the figure, and then there's some stuff on the top there, and then the side shows him looking like he's running. Nice laser blast in the background shows the alt mode too. And then here we go with some pretty cool looking, it pays homage to something, but it's not the US G1 packaging. Okay, so here he is out of the package, and I am impressed with a few things. I do like the overall look and aesthetic of this. And so with that, there's a couple of things when we get to the comparisons, like a bigger head than the PANGU, or definitely a bigger head than what we got with the McFans Toys version. And so with that, it looks more correct to me now that I have it in hand. There's a couple of things I like better about PANGU, but there's a couple of things I like. Well, a lot of things I like better about this one. So looking at it, it does have a nice sheen to the yellow, and the face in there, that's a very nice face paint, painted very well. You can get this open if you want to pop that open. I'm not going to mess with that. There's no need to, because of the way the transformation is, you don't have to, and all that kind of stuff. And so with that, we do have some red, transparent, translucent kind of stuff going on right there, and then red paint. So there's some paint here. So not painted all the way. I do not think any of this is painted. I mean, it might be, but I think it really is just plastic. But I haven't scratched anything on it, so thank goodness. Maybe it is painted, but because they usually paint everything. But the EX version was going to pop more, so it's going to be more of a metallic paint, I believe. Because until you get it in hand, you really don't know. So anyway, I do like some cool things about the transformation with the shoulders and all that when we get to the transformation. And then down here, now one thing, the knees kind of bother me on this guy. We're not doing articulation just yet, but this is an aesthetic thing. So PANGU Toys has like some stuff going on in here, some more stuff going on with the knees that look better than that. And then the way this just kind of comes up over it and just kind of seems strange. Now, it might be accurate, more accurate to a G1 look, but that was one negative that I've seen. But really, for the rest of it, he looks fantastic. He looks quite phenomenal, and he has quite a bit of articulation. So they really did a good job with the articulation from the back. A lot of things carried over that are similar to what we saw with PANGU toys, such as like the bump out in paint on these to pay homage to the G1, and of course the cartoon and all that kind of stuff. But really nice looking bot. So let's go ahead and get into actual articulation of this guy, see what's going on. Since there are really no accessories, he is his own accessory. Okay, so with the head, you could pop it up a bit, and so you get quite a bit up and a bit down. And so he's got a lot going on with that neck up there. This does pop out on me a lot. Well, actually, I pushed in good, and now it's holding in good. So that's pretty good there. The shoulder goes out to about here, and then you can do the 360 if the wing doesn't get in the way. And then this rotates also if you need that to kind of maybe help cheat it and get it up higher. You can move that out of the way, so that really works. You do have the bicep swivel, but you got a really nice like double jointed elbow. Now it does break the sculpt. You do see how the sausage is made in that elbow, but it's not that bad, and it's really interesting how this is designed. And then you can kind of put that in there and just get any pose you want out of this dynamically, and no articulation in past that. Then we go down to the waist, where you got everything you want in a waist. So maybe this is like, let's teach the seekers how it's done, and then that's amazing. That's really nice. So everything you'd want, everything you need, and it feels solid. Now, as you can hear, we have hardware in there. So we have clickety ratchets, and something we don't have in the PANGU toys. This goes out to here and holds very, very well. You do have the side to side, and then when you go to the front, it drops it down. So there's all kinds of hardware going on in there, which at first it was a little scary, like, is that going to go back into place? And it goes back into place very well. So this is some stuff. This is like next level. This is what would Newage do if they did a G1 masterpiece. I haven't gotten a hold of their movie masterpiece stuff yet, but getting into the knees, and then I've already shown this, but this is just kind of sad looking right there. But it goes back all the way. He doesn't need this much articulation, but they put it in, and there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with having this much articulation to it. Getting down into the foot, it goes all the way this way, part of the transformation, and then it can kick up and down, up. Well, maybe not down so much, but it can kick up. So he can get kind of like a running type of pose out of that. Now, one thing about the articulation of the fingers, if that's what you want to call these, is that you have articulation in this joint right here, and then you have it right here. So he could grab something and hold it if you wanted to. So here he is. This is Newage holding a Magic Square Ironhide, which I actually prefer the Newage version of Ironhide and then the Magic Square version of Ratchet. But anyway, that's kind of significant, and the articulation on this makes it look really cool, a little bit better than the PANGU. Okay, so real quick for comparison, I'm not putting his wings on. They're just giant, bulky, and you can make it look a little bit better, but just the G1 and my G1 is not the greatest condition, but he gets the job done. He's G1 and gets the job done. And so with that, this is what this one, and I said it about the PANGU Toys one, this is what we should have gotten back in the day over this, but limited in budget and all of that kind of stuff. This is just phenomenal in comparison. Here it is next to the McFan's Toys, which I don't really know, because it was before my time. I just picked it up late in the game, secondhand. So I don't know if it was based off of DX9 design or if it was the McFan's Toys early work of their own stuff, but it's a bit small, and as you can see, Newage just trumps it. And I think this was like a $80 to $100 figure back in the day, and so now $170 gets you this guy. Now for the comparison with the PANGU Toys, as I've been kind of talking it up as we go, which one is better? Which is the better bot? Looking at them, Newage wins, hands down. I'm not going to argue the point at all whatsoever. But there are a few things I like better about the PANGU Toys. I like this better than that. Even though that's probably more accurate, I still like this better than that. So that's one thing. The small head, though, it was bigger than McFan's Toys, and it looked okay, but now that we see this, I feel like that's more correct and more accurate than this. But the wings look more like the cartoon, this looks more like the toy. And it's an easier transformation, more simplified transformation. We don't have articulation here, but we do right here. And this is smaller, and it just seems to look a little bit better on the figure, oddly enough. I don't know why. It just looks better. I would have never thought that. I'm not sure about the waist area. I think I kind of like the waist area a little bit better there. I like the cleaner, smoother look here, but I like the way the knees go up here, and I do like the, I've talked about this before, you have pistons and stuff going on in there that you don't have going on in there. So side by side, yes, Newage wins. PANGU's got a lot of good going for it, though. I mean, there's a lot of good. I wish this was English. I wish it was an option. But at the end of the day, I do recommend this one if you're going to get one. But he is twice the price, like $85, $170. I mean, twice the price. So that's a factor. And next to the Zeta Toys combiner of Superion, I love Superion, my favorite combiner. Hands down my favorite combiner. I think this is a beautiful bot. It had a little fiddly getting it there. But now that he's there, he is super solid. He stays there. And that's all I want him for. That's it. So all the problems are washed away. There's a few minor issues that are washed away. But that's how they look side by side. I think that really does work, though. Here he is next to a G1 Prime if you want to say, hey, you know, I got a G1 collection. I don't have a G1 Omega Supreme, and I'd like to put this in there. It would feel like it fits like a glove. And here he is with some other figures. He's got Doc that comes with the PANGU Toys. Little Doc, and I guess that would still work very well with him, if that's the thing you want. We've got Newage, which that's a phenomenal figure. This is Magic Square's 1.0 painted up. Magic Square, I think DX9, maybe? DX9. And then we've got Iron Factory, so looking really good. This is more cartoon accurate in scale than like matching up to G1.
The Transformers will return after these messages.
All right, so now for transformation, it's pretty interesting overall. We are going to start by popping this back piece off and removing the track. So that's simple. Sounds bad. Oh, that sounded really bad. Popping that off. Stays in there really good, and that's fantastic. You want to push these forward, and I kind of like got them started. I got the ball rolling on that. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't want to be here all day. Then this folds up like so. Then we're gonna pop this out of here. Get out of here. Get over here, so we can move this to the back. Now this thing here is some really cool engineering that they did. So I really like what they did. So we're gonna fold it upside down, and then we're gonna fold this, and then this is going to go into here, and then this folds over and just fills in the gap. Really amazing. Like when that's fantastic. That works great, and goes like that. And then we're forming the shuttle piece here. So we open this up, and then we kind of fold all this in, and then fold that down, and we've got the top of it. Same thing back here. We fold this up, and we fold this in and get it leveled up, and then we've got this, and then we have the shuttle that fast and that easy. Looks like I probably need a little work on tightening it up just a little bit, but you can also get this piece down. Leaving this down if you want, since it's probably makes more sense, and just get that out of the way. All right, these things here obviously just fold open, and that's a lot of fun. We're going to be using them very shortly, because once we get this transformation knocked out. So then we have to work on the rest of this. Let me get the camera adjusted for it. All right, before we go any further, I do want to point out I forgot to show that it's got these missiles here. That's a feature in the bot mode, since we're not going to be in the bot mode for the rest of this. So anyhow, what we need to do is untab these pieces here, and it'll sort of bring this back, and then we can start to disconnect all of this and remove what's going to be the tank. And then with this, we also need to fold this back up, fold these in, and then that will just hold it in place, which is kind of cool and kind of strange. Then we're going to come down here to the legs. We're going to pop this off, both of these off, and they just kind of fold down like this, sliders, and we'll set those aside. And then we're going to take the leg apart, and we'll start working on this. So we fold this out, and we're already there. And then we're going to come over here, and we're going to pop these out, and set this aside for now. Do a lot of setting aside, huh? Then we got these, so they fold out, and then this folds around. This tab here folds in, so it's flat. This flips around. Oh, we got to get this piece out too. So there we go. Get this piece here out. Come on, fold out. Flip it around. And we got the outside. Over to the outside. Same thing on this side. Here, we're going to fold this out, out, and out. There's some similarities in this between, other transformations, of course. Fold this tab in. Flip this around. Set it aside. All right. Then we're going to get into the tank, the tankety tank. And so with that, we are going to do a few things. There's quite a bit going to go on with this guy. So we need to lift this up. This is a faux head, so that's kind of cool. We're going to flip this faux head around, and then we are going to do a lot of stuff. Fold this down, get it out of the way, and this should sort of be the new configuration. Push this wheel here through so that we have it so it can roll. Get to rolling. And then this is going to fold over, and then this is going to fold in, and then these tabs here, it should tab into place. Emphasis on should. There it goes. Tabs into place. We're going to fold this kind of slider it back. And then this is going to come up, around and over and tab in. And then this is going to open up. Pulling out this, which that should probably be the last thing, but you know, it just happened. We're going to pull the treads out. Tread safe. And it's going to kind of unfurl. I'm going to pull this out, flip it around, and then folds up like so. And this can come up here, and there's a tab and a notch. So we need to get that all aligned just right so it all tabs in. Why is that not aligning? This has to be pushed all the way back for it to align just right. There you go. And then we can pull this little laser gun piece out right there. And let's see, do I have all that aligned just right there? And then this is going to come out. And then same thing on this side. It's just the same old kind of stuff going on here. Pull this up, flip it around, push this all the way to the back so it can tab in. And it's got to be seriously pushed to the back to tab in. Come on, you can do it. Then there's tabs right here, which they seem to just pop right into place. There's this. I think I need to mess with this just a little bit. This doesn't look right there. I'll fiddle with that in a minute. But anyway, we'll get to this here in a bit. Now we get to assemble all of this fun stuff. Tab this into here. Tab this into here. And then proceed to connection. Proceed to connection point. That's my best Omega Supreme that I can do. Here we go. Boom, boom. And then should put it on this so I can rotate it around a little bit better. I probably will at some point. But boom and boom. And then these. It's exactly the same. Like this stuff here, some of this stuff is so exactly the same as we saw with other ones. Connecting these into these notches here. I'm going to look it over, see if I missed anything, but I think we're pretty much there. And then we're going to need to unscrew this. We get the screwdriver. This is the battery. I don't know, 5 of them or something like that. So, yeah, that's the battery. It's going to go in here. Positive or negative, like so. There we go, and it works. So we'll put the battery cover back on like you do on Cybertron. Yeah, so yeah, transformations aren't my best strong suit. You know, I like talking. I like talking more than transforming, so we're going to get this knocked out of the way really fast so we can get into more talking and playing and having fun. Let's pop this up, which this is really kind of hard to get these out of here. These little pieces here, they got to come out like that. And they're going to hold the track so that it can do this. And before I do this, the biggest cliffhanger ever. What are you going to do? Well, okay, so I noticed that I did not like push this down. You want to go through and make sure that there's not going to be anything hanging this up before you start using it, or else it's not going to work. And I saw that that wasn't perfectly aligned, and I was kind of getting in a hurry. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I get in a bit of a hurry. And let's see what this thing looks like in action. So I think this is the best angle. What we're going to do is push this button here. Make sure that these guides are in the right spot. And let's watch it do a full revolution and talk about this. So this is really cool. This is a very good alt mode. I like the faux head. I like... That's better than what PANGU Toys did. The transformation isn't super ultra complex as you saw. I mean, what would it take us, like 7 minutes? I've seen longer transformations or harder transformations on other figures. So, but you know, there is a bit of parts forming to it, which is fine because that's the way this figure was originally intended when it was originally made back in the 80s and all that kind of stuff. But it looks fantastic. But this driving around situation that it's got going on, really nice. I wish it would have had some lights Wish it would have had some sounds. I wish there's some stuff that could have happened with it, but looking at this set, it's a very, very nice set. I like the way it looks overall, and it does work as a very good Omega Supreme base mode. And so with that, we can sort of look at different things on this. It does show a landing pad right here, which is hidden up when it's in the bot mode, so it's like a helicopter would land there or something along those lines. This thing could probably go into there or something, but it's always like this. This is the way it's done. This can fold up. I just think it looks better having something like a loading area. So we did have a conversation about mass shifting on last Friday, and we have another conversation coming up this Friday. So with that, this mass shifting is something brought up that I missed. I didn't talk about, but a lot of people said Omega Supreme. Mass shifting goes on with Omega Supreme. And then with this, in the show, this takes off, but the rest of it just kind of appears when he lands. So, you know, it's some kind of crazy stuff. They had to figure out what to do to sell a toy, right? And that's the way it works. But this looks great in all angles, so really doesn't look bad at all. And I just think it looks phenomenal, fantastic. I also think the PANGU Toys one looks good, but it doesn't have this feature. This feature just so reminiscent of G1, and so many G1s don't work anymore that this is very, very, very satisfying. I mean, really satisfying to have this work and to have that just stays on the track and all that kind of stuff. So really fantastic, phenomenal job there. And so is it worth twice the price of like the competitors out there? Maybe, especially if you're gonna leave it in this mode, and I might actually just leave it in this mode. So I really think that a base mode is best for displaying figures. So looking at this, could you put a Cosmos up there? Yes, that would make sense. Could you leave him right here? That makes sense. Could you put bots mixed in? Yes, all that makes sense. This is Magic Square. That is Newage, the Jetfire. So all of this makes sense. It would make a great display piece. If you have the depth on your shelf to hold it, then it would make a great display piece. And I think it looks great as a display piece. And I'm probably going to keep this in alt mode just because the gimmick's so great, and because I have the PANGU Toys. And the PANGU Toys, this is something I didn't want to talk about during that comparison, but this one's shorter and it fits my display shelf better in bot mode than this would. And I like having this in the alt mode, and I will be doing comparisons. It'll be kind of fun to have this around to put figures on when I do other reviews and comparisons, that kind of stuff. So that's for me personally, and I think that mode is that great. So anyway, still, straight up, this is the best option. That PANGU one is still a fantastic figure. I mean, so many great options. It's good to be a Transformers collector in 2023. All right, so that's my look at the Newage Michael, and this is a really good Omega Supreme, the best Legends one on the market, and really this makes me think they should do some Masterpiece stuff, more Masterpiece stuff, some G1 Masterpiece stuff, but that's too lucrative. It's just, Legends is too lucrative to give that up. But anyway, it's a great looking figure. There is more paint on it than I thought. Not as much as they usually do though, and great articulation, and just really an amazing looking figure overall. Probably the best one on the market. He is twice the price of the PANGU option, which the PANGU option is still pretty decent overall, but this one is superior in a lot of ways. And the alt mode with the motorized alt mode and all that kind of stuff, lots of fun. Lots of great options there. But anyway, the negatives though, there's just some minor things here and there, like the knees. The knees don't have the extra detail that the PANGU one does, and just a few things. And knowing that there's an EX right around the corner that's going to be highly painted, that is a negative in a way, unless you want to pick that one up. So anyhow, I'm going to link down below where you can get this. I'm curious what you think about this. Are you picking one of these up? Are you going to shows you can pick one of these up? Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Take your paint around.
That, aerial bots, is why the Transformers left Cybertron for a new world. Optimus Prime. Evacuation necessary. Omega Supreme, what's the... Explosion imminent. Do as he says. Destruction in